When a cabinet of chemicals combines as a bolt of lightning, Barry Allen is transformed into the fastest man alive. This is the Flashpoint Podcast. I am your host, Zachary here, and with me, as always, is the great Phil.
Hey, what's up, Flash fans?
So, this week's episode is, of course, Things You Can't Outrun. Ooh. What's next for a Superman show? Things you can't fly from? Jeez, the metaphors, they're so subtle. How will we ever pick up on them?
So subtle, they beat you over the head.
Yes. Okay. So now I think we should. Well, we could go through, but I like this. Right. I like the thing. Cisco is like, oh, it's a 237. It's like a dog is loose. It's a 533. It's like I don't handle this stuff. It's like, and I love how she comes in. Just tell him. Man with gun, bad. Go catch.
He was trying to impress his police friend.
I know. I do like how Barry he would, being a CSI, he would know the codes probably. But one thing I find funny is, I like how no one apparently in this universe notices. I know he's back and he leaves and gets back really fast, but still, if someone just disappeared and just showed up again, I think someone might go, "Hey, that guy wasn't here a moment ago."
Yeah, but you have to suspend disbelief.
I know. I'm just saying it's one of those things that's funny about this. I'm not going, how can they do this? No. Now we get the Mist. Interesting. I've looked it up. He's actually, I don't know who this guy's agent is, but I want him. This is the same guy that's going to play Victor Zsasz in Gotham.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow.
I don't know how his agent managed that, but dang. And the guy's good. I like this guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's so good at playing creepy.
Oh, yeah.
You told me, God have mercy on your soul. It's like, he's going to reach through the TV and kill me. Now, one thing, I like how it's Detective West's idea to build a meta prison.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because it's true. It's like, he's like, what? It's something we've talked about. What, are we going to kill every metahuman we go up against? It's true. And I can't wait to see how they they build different prisons for every guy, and if someone's gonna they're gonna have a meta breakout.
Yeah.
They're gonna. I bet not this season probably, but I bet season 2 is gonna have that.
Either someone's gonna break out or someone's gonna let them out.
Yeah. Oh, maybe it'd be Wells.
Yeah, so I was about to say because no one on Team Arrow would kill anyone, but then that's like except for Wells.
You just called them Team Arrow
or Team Flash, whatever.
This is the Flash Arrow Power Hour podcast, but still.
I don't know. Sometimes they remind me of Team
By the way,
Arrow.
this is something I love about comic books. The guy's name is Nimbus.
I know.
I half expected someone saying Nimbus, and the little yellow cloud with a little Japanese boy goes flying by with a monkey tail.
Because this was a new character, right? I don't think he's been in the comic book.
I've looked a little bit. I can double check. It'd take me 2 seconds. But yeah, and it was an interesting. Although, of course, I tweeted, "Look out, it's Hexus. Watch out for his toxic love," because that's what with the green smoke. That's the first thing I thought of.
But yeah, I mean, he's not a regular Flash villain, and I don't seem to remember him unless he showed up.
I am looking him somewhere up as we speak. He seems to be, if it's the same guy, he seems to be a Starman villain. Let me just double check it's the right one. Powers. Yeah, he was a Star. I have no idea who Starman is.
There have been a couple different versions of Starman, so
it's not that surprising. I don't know him. Apparently, his first appearance was 1941, and the second Starman was 1994. So, not that surprising. I don't know him right off the top of my head. He was a World War. Oh, the first Mist was a World War I fighter pilot. Well, not fighter pilot, no, Army. I thought that's it. Yeah. I love this. He just made himself a villain. He just created a serum to make him a Mist.
I want to mess people up.
Oh, he fought the original Sandman.
Huh.
So yeah, he is a DC villain. Well, it's a good one because you want a few lower names for him to fight in the beginning because there's so many I'd like to see though.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see what they would do with Mirror Master because he's not a metahuman.
Yeah, well, and next, did you see the preview for next week?
Captain Cold.
He doesn't look like he's going to be a metahuman either. It looks like he has the gun.
I think I heard a rumor that Heatwave was going to show up with him, too.
Yeah, if not this next episode, yeah, probably
Well, I think there
sometime.
was a picture or something, which is interesting because in the comics, well, gotta remember this is DC, so continuity is out the window. But I think for a while, one of the heat waves in the comics tried to go straight or
Yeah.
retired, yeah, and
Hmm.
he even helped the Flash out.
Oh yeah, they had Captain Cold even bounced back and forth for a while.
I like when the right author tries to. And oh man, we should. I wonder if they'll have that here. Have any like villains that try to do good, that kind of thing. That because like the Flash like they calls them the rogues, but it'll be interesting to see.
And then I saw they cast Pied Piper also.
Really, I didn't hear about that yet, but that's all. That's Pied Piper is now. Is he an anti-hero or is he like Catwoman? Sometimes he's hero, sometimes I know a little about him.
It depends. I mean, he was an enemy of Barry Allen's, but then he worked along with
Do
Wally West for a while, the
you
longest time.
do you think he'll have the costume?
I don't know.
Do you
I
think?
mean,
I hope. Imagine if he'll have remember the horn he used to have that weird, like it was this huge thing he would put in his mouth.
yeah, towards the end of like him working with Wally West, they kind of updated the
Yeah, I would think
costume.
so. You know, what would be a weird character to see. Do you ever hear of a character called Ozone?
I don't
He was
think
kind of a
so.
one off. He would have these like I'm not kidding. His tools were all aerosol cans. It was so stupid. But yes, this is what they're going for. Well, Pied Piper. Oh god, the Pied Piper. It's funny because they just had a Pied Piper episode in Sleepy Hollow.
Maybe that's where they got the idea.
Yeah, yes, right. But this, again, I like where they're going with this. Like it's like the Mist storyline. He's fairly standard. Oh, these people wronged me. Weren't you a hired killer? Shh. Isn't it your fault? Shh. Now we get a little bit. Now, okay, I think we can. I think we know. I mean, it was hinted at, hinted at. Now we know for sure. Her fiance is Ronnie Raymond, Firestorm. I mean, we know it now. It's not even a maybe. He's stuck in a particle accelerator. Here's one of the Easter eggs. He said we were like fire and ice. I'm like, really? Killer Frost and Firestorm? They're going there.
Oh, I know.
Now, one thing I've seen people talk about, and I've watched it a few times, and I want to know what you think. A lot of people have said the door he closes behind him is Firestorm's symbol, and I've looked at it. I mean, it looks like it, but I don't know.
Yeah, I saw people talking about that. I was trying to watch during the episode, and it was hard to tell, but
I watched it on streaming, so I paused it, and it does look like it, but I don't think it's an Easter egg. I think it's I don't know if it's coincidence or whatever. I just don't think it's one of. Even if it is, it doesn't matter.
I
But
mean, it's probably just like a nuclear symbol, and he's gonna remember that and put it on the front of his chest.
now we haven't seen Stein yet, so I wonder how they're going to explain that.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. How could it? Is it? Do you think it's possible that? Remember when the particle accelerator blew, the energy went up into the clouds?
I like that Stein's in the particle accelerator because that would make sense. Because that's what a particle accelerator does. It slams molecules together, so it would make
Yeah,
sense that Ronnie and Stein would be like, Psh, become Firestorm.
yeah, but I'm saying, could the particle accelerator have taken like Ronnie Raymond's molecules and like shot him out and like I don't know, they kind of find their way to Stein,
Like maybe maybe I don't know. Like there's so many ways. I hope they make it work. You know, there's so many ways they could go on this.
like the way Barry was struck by lightning. Somehow the energy got from the sky down into Stein.
Well, this we'll see what they do because I think they mentioned him once. I got to go back and watch it again in a couple other episodes. But but it's another thing I like is Detective West. Like they use his experience. Like when Barry's like I couldn't save the judge, and he talks to him like he would a cop. You put on the suit, you put on the uniform. You're not going to save everyone. You got to deal with loss.
Mm-hmm. Just because you have powers doesn't mean you're.
Well, it's the same thing with the cop. Just because you put on a badge and gun, you're not going to save everyone. And for you got to think of course they have superpowers, but it's the same thing. They're putting on a uniform and saving people. That's like a cop.
Yeah, but they've done this in the comic books before.
Oh well, yeah,
He's so fast. He thinks there's a possibility he might be able to save everyone.
yeah. Well, it's a good thing. I wonder if this is a Easter egg because in the set, the big I don't know if you want to call it a mural in the police station. It says truth, liberty, and justice. I wonder if I'm like with Who knows? Because it probably depends if that whole set is built. If that's a built set, it's an Easter egg. If it's something they're just filming in, it's not an Easter egg. Like that happened in Gotham. Actually, there was a building with a neon Q, and
Mm-hmm.
everyone thought that was a Queen Consolidator. But the guy's like, no, we just picked the building. Something similar happened in Arrow first season that even I noticed. At one scene, you see Laurel talking in front of a store that's Nestor, but all you see is Nest. And I'm like, oh, it's a Canary reference, but the author's like, no, that's a real store. We just were filming in that alley.
Oh yeah, they just throw stuff out there all the time because even in the first season of Arrow, she worked at CNRI Canary.
Yeah, I know. Well, this one, like I said, the Easter. Well, a good time is ever talk about the Easter eggs. Did you see the Easter eggs on the movie Marquee?
Yes, Blue Devil and what was it, Rita Farr and
Yep.
something. Uh huh.
Yeah, it was Blue Devil, of course, is a DC hero, and Rita Farr is a member of Doom Patrol. I mean, well, and it's interesting because she was an actress in the comics
Mm-hmm.
before. So I wonder. I mean, that's confirming she exists. So that could be a because I think I believe I heard a few months ago they're trying to do a Doom Patrol show. I'm not sure which channel is though, or
Hmm.
if it's an attached to a channel. And another little now I'm guessing this is an Easter egg because it is a connection to the Flash. But when the police officer says the Orloff case, I look because I'm thinking, okay, because you gotta check every freaking name on this show.
Mm-hmm.
Orloff was a scientist on New Earth who helped the Flash. And
Hmm.
actually, there's a version of Rita Farr on New Earth. Now, I don't know much about the because I've tried to wrap my head around the DC multiverse, and it gives me a headache.
Oh yeah, they change it every 10 to 15 years too.
We're gonna make a Green Lantern gay. Which one? Oh, one you've never heard of. Oh, well, you're daring.
Hmm.
Now, one thing I like about this is I like how the guy. This is just something I noticed is when Mist comes in to kill the detective, and Detective West, and I'm thinking he said to Barry, "Don't get in my way. You're not. Don't make me add you to the list." So apparently that prison guard was on his list.
Yeah, yeah, it was the people he thought wronged him and
Well, that's what.
imprisoned him and
Well, that's what I mean. No, that's what I mean. The prison guard just some random guards. Like I love it because usually when someone says you're not on my list, it's a very fine. Well, apparently that prison guard who he never met before, he suddenly decided, okay, you're on my list.
you're looking for logic from a psychopath.
I You mean the writers of the show?
Oh no, these writers are
No,
great.
they are. They are. We love them. We'd love to have you on the show, guys. If any of you listen,
Writers, cast members.
yeah. We'll take a key grip at this point, because they are important too. Now, of course, another thing we see in the show is they have when goes to he gives Detective West the antidote. He does the thing that originally was done by Jake Garrick. He vibrates his face so his dad can't recognize him.
Yep.
Because I like that. Because again, it's something that was referenced. I think referenced best in the Green. As horrible as that movie was, it was referenced in Green Lantern, where she goes, she goes, "What? You don't think I would recognize your face? You wouldn't recognize you because I can't see your cheekbones? I've known you since I was 7."
Yeah, and especially more if it's one of your parents.
Right? He's raised him. Well, he didn't raise.
To a point, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, he would recognize his own son. And I wonder if they're going to do that. And they kind of reference that too, because he's fought crime out of his costume, but he just never stopped running.
Hmm.
Also, one thing he fought Mist. Couldn't he have worn like a respirator? Because I'm pretty sure. And didn't the original version of the suit come with a respirator?
What the? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. In the first episode, yeah, because Cisco said it was made for like,
Firefighter.
yeah,
I just found that funny. It's like I'm going against a guy who can turn the gas. Shouldn't you wear a breathing mask? No, I won't look as cool.
yeah. Because even if they get, because I'm sure they could have built something so if the mist tried to get through the respirator, it would have trapped them in the respirator or something.
Now, we thing about this fight between him and Mist was awesome.
Yeah, I
Thought
don't
it
know.
was well,
I was screaming the whole time. I'm like, just run around them, do a tornado
well,
effect
you
around
know
them.
why they didn't because he already did that.
Yeah.
But I still liked it. It looked great. It didn't look too CGI, which is fantastic.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I'm definitely liking they're doing for what they have to do. The effects are pretty decent.
Oh yeah.
Of course, another thing we get a nice little backstory on Killer Frost. Oh, I'm sorry, I mean Doctor Snow.
Snow, Nimbus.
No, but I mean, it's funny because with this, the people behind these shows, this and Arrow, there's no way to know if she's actually going to become Killer Frost, or if he's going to be Vibe, or if Eddie's actually the Reverse Flash.
Yeah, or Dr. Wells.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about that in a minute. So yeah, we got a little insight into her, and I thought she was going to say in case I don't know if you know this, but I have a habit of being. She said guarded. I thought she was going to say cold. I'm like, she's gonna say cold, isn't she? But yeah, this. So we got to talk about the elephant in the room, Wells, because now we know that because we weren't sure where his knowledge of the future came from. We have some theories, but now we know he knew before the explosion that Barry was going to be the Flash.
Oh yeah, he was watching him. At least this couple seconds before the lightning hit. He knew.
Well, and of course, I mean, and we also know that the future room existed before the explosion.
Yep.
What does that? Oh, but what that
He
means,
ha-
we don't know.
he has to be from the future because I know last week you were saying that maybe he got some future sight, but
Right,
this was all in place before the
right.
particle accelerator went haywire. So
But and I know that heavily points to him being the Reverse Flash. But I don't know. I don't know if he's Professor Zoom, if he's Eobard. What I just Eobard's so socio.
well, there was a second version of Zoom, so he might not be Eobard.
Well,
I mean,
there's
they could go either way. He could
it's
be the second version. He could be a long lost descendant of Eddie Thawne. You never know.
it's so hard to. I don't know if he's. I mean, he's obviously. We don't know if he's a villain yet. We know he's something. We just don't
Well,
know.
he's killed.
Yeah, but he hasn't killed. Well, what he's killed Stag. That's not exactly an innocent.
Yeah, but I saw another theory online
Oh,
that
please, ish.
it kind of has to do with what's going on in the Flash comic books right now. That could he possibly be a future version or an alternate version of Barry himself?
Well, we've discussed that. Is he from an alternate
Hmm.
future? I don't know if he's alternate Barry or future Barry, because I mean, I understand he'd be from the future, but I don't know if he looked at. I guess he'd have to be alternate to look at, or if he. Oh, okay, I could change to the.
Any future is a possible future.
Yeah.
Nothing's set in
Now, and
stone.
the thing that I keep thinking about is if he's from the future, what created the Flash originally? Like in his version, and that does point to again. That could point to Reverse Flash. Like, what created the Flash originally, and was there really Professor Wells that he killed or something? You know what I mean?
Hmm.
That started I mean I hope their explanation makes sense. That's what I'm really, because I'm so worried they'll do like a soap, just like they'll go too far down the CW rabbit hole and make it really dumb.
It's just going to be one of those endless time loops where the particle accelerator exploded and gave him his powers. So Wells had to go back in time to cause the particle accelerator to explode.
I know. Whenever you have time travel, you get so complicated. I mean, so many shows. I'm like, ow, my head hurts. I mean, obviously we don't know what the story is yet.
Yes, listeners, for the end of the season, I would think time travel is heavily involved. So keep your aspirin handy.
Oh god, there's some. It's like, and not only is this time travel, this is DC Comics time travel.
Oh yeah, I mean they could just reset the timeline like that.
Oh boy, I mean, I don't. It's so hard to tell who he is. Now, one thing. And I don't know. I hope the explanation makes sense. I mean, a lot of evidence points to Reverse Flash, and
Yeah.
yeah, if he is a Reverse Flash, I think Eddie is just his ancestor, and I think if they're gonna do a whole thing of like if we took care of him, we
Hmm.
change everything. I think that's gonna be an episode, or at least a point made.
Yeah, I think it's safe to assume Wells is a time traveler, especially because of his name. Because the author H.G. Wells
Yeah,
wrote the
I
book
said that
Time
right at the
Machine.
beginning.
Yeah.
I said from the beginning, somebody find out what his middle name is, because if it's Grant, come on. But we'll see. Now it would now. Ooh, no, it's an interesting point. If he's from the future, which he probably is,
Hmm.
if Cisco and Snow are going to be, and Ronnie, if they're all going to become metas, he knows that.
Yeah.
He knows that she might be Killer Frost. Although I'm thinking that could be a really interesting story if they make her a villain, Killer Frost, because if Ronnie becomes a hero, that could alienate things, especially if she finds it. Even though that is cliche, one mistake and suddenly I'm a villain, yeah.
Mhm.
But that is a route they could take with her.
Yeah, but if once again, if he's from the future and she does become a villain, he should have a way to subdue her, though.
Right. It's just, but is he a villain? We don't know because there are people who believe the ends justify the means.
Yeah, but if they go the second Zoom route, he's technically he's a villain, but he's trying to make the Flash a better hero,
Who knows? Who knows?
but he'll do anything to do it. Yeah.
But I overall I liked this episode was pretty good.
Yeah.
I think I'm giving a good review, good effects, good looks. I did. He finally finds out that Eddie and her are dating, even though he knew all along. Obviously, I do always like you all are terrible liars. It's freaking true. I always love in those storyline when the people are trying to hide. It's like, we were on a camping trip. Yeah.
I love Joe. He's like, I'll try not to shoot him.
Mm. You know what could be really interesting if they went one route, if they do the reverse Flash thing.
Hmm.
If Eddie finds out, imagine finding out your descendant from the future is going to be a villain and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, there is something you could do, not have kids.
oh, that's like Meet the Robinsons. I'm never going to invent you. I'm never gonna.
He'll be like, Iris, I can't be with you because I can't have, I can't take the chance of
Oh
having children.
God! You know what? You just open up. If it's they do the reverse Flash thing with Thawne, and he's like either he is, if he's not the reverse Flash and he's an ancestor, Barry's gonna be like, wait a minute, does that mean Iris is gonna have a kid? He's gonna. I bet that's his first reaction.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yes, what are your overall thoughts for this episode, Phil?
I thought it was a good episode. I mean, it was a typical Flash episode so far. I don't think we've had a clunker in the bunch. I like that the Mist was an interesting villain. I wasn't too familiar with him, so it kind of added some suspense.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Effects are good, story's good. I mean, it's like I said, not they haven't had a bad episode so far. So let's hope the writers can
Hmm.
keep it up. So yeah, overall for me, rating and Phil. But before we go, will you tell these lovely people how to get in touch with us?
All right, get a hold of us. Our email is flasharrowpodcast@gmail.com. We're on Facebook, the Flash Arrow Power Hour Podcast. Our Twitter is @FlashArrowPod. Instagram is before the bat _ Flash Arrow Pod. And our Tumblr is before the bat -Flash Arrow Pod.
Now don't go away, because coming up is the Queen Consolidated podcast for the TV show Arrow. So we will be back in a flash.
After the world believed him dead for 5 years, Oliver Queen returns to save his city as the Arrow. Hello, everyone. I'm Phil Parrish, your co-host, and with me, as always, is
Zachary.
dun, dun, dun.
That's how we should say our last names from now on. All right, we are talking about this week's episode of Arrow, which is of course called Corto. Now, every time I hear Corto Maltese, I think of the original Batman movie.
Oh yeah.
I don't know a lot about art, but I know what I like. I think of the Joker talking about the photos.
Oh,
You
yeah,
know.
the bodies, the skulls.
Oh God, Jack, great Joker. So yes, we get this one. I think it felt a bit like its purpose was just to continue storylines.
That, and I think they tried to do too much. I mean, the whole Diggle storyline and the storyline going to get Thea, those could have been 2 different
You know,
episodes.
we talked about that last time. They're having a problem with that because they made all these great characters.
You think they're trying to pack too much stuff into every week?
I do. You know, and of course they're connecting. That might be why Felicity's going off. Like, I wonder if Felicity's they're gonna have her like not be in an episode of Arrow and just have her on Flash.
I don't know. I mean, either that or it's just her going to confront Barry. Like, you didn't tell me you woke up.
Well, we still don't know how anyone was told anything. Like, did they get a phone call like, "Hey, Barry's up"?
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, we saw Barry contact Oliver, but
Right,
I mean, we haven't seen. Did Oliver say anything to Felicity?
right.
Or
Oh, by the way, we talked about this too. It's like, oh, by the way, Barry has superpowers.
and abs?
And Felicity's like, ooh, abs. She totally would say that too.
I know.
She's
Little.
like, I don't mean abs. I mean, good that you're in shape. I wasn't looking at your abs. I mean, she would totally.
Little Miss working her way through the Justice League with crushes on
Oh my god.
Oliver,
I just
Barry, and now Ray Palmer.
Oh my god, I just realized that she's got three different superheroes and a oh my god. Well, just make sure. Hey, if they have her date Wildcat, we'll add the Justice Society to it,
Her superpower is juggling.
and no one minds because we love her. So, oh yeah, and one thing, a correction from last week. I got the actors mixed up for who's playing Wildcat, and I wouldn't feel so bad about it if the guy I said was Wildcat wasn't white, and the guy who is playing Wildcat is Spanish. So I feel like a double idiot. but anyways, moving on.
You said that, but I thought you got it right. I thought I heard it was J.R. Ramirez.
It is J.R. Ramirez. That's not the name I said.
Oh, that's not who you said?
Well, I said both because the wrong IMDb came up when I was doing the. This is why anyone who wants to be a podcaster, do your research before you record.
That's all right. They're throwing a lot at us this season.
I'll stop defending me to the people. They know my mistake.
He's a good man.
I know. Think of the children. But so we see Oliver's we still have no idea, and as I thought, we find out later that the League of Assassins probably is not the one who killed her.
No.
I think her being there because they would. I don't think they. Well, unless it's Roz doing it himself, but I don't know if they'll ever have the guts to have him in the show.
Who, Roz? I think they pretty much. Thought they said he is going to be on the show this season.
They're gonna have the guts to have. That's the thing, though. He's a Batman villain.
Yeah, well, so is a lot of the people they bring in.
I know, because this show's Batman with a bow and arrow.
Yeah.
As much as I like it, I was so hoping this. I mean, come on, with the Flash connecting it, let's go.
Face it, man. By the end of the season, we're gonna have shirtless Oliver and Roz sword fighting in the desert.
Oh, jeez. I swear to God, if they give Oliver a butler, I'm gone.
Hey, Roy's out of work.
Jeez. Okay, so I did like. I still hope they don't put Ray and Felicity together because I just don't think that'll work.
Yeah. It seems kind of.
Now I would love the idea that they become friends. I'm totally fine with that.
Yeah. Do you think they really are friends, or is Felicity in there to get the inside info to try to help Oliver get the company back?
No, I think she was genuine. She wants to have a life outside. A lot of people thought when she said that she meant she's still on the team.
Mm-hmm.
She just wants a life outside the quiver, I guess you could say. Some people call it that. Well, I'm not calling it the Arrow Cave.
Why? I think they did back in the day in the comic books.
Dude, in the original Green Arrow comics, Green Arrow was a carbon copy of Batman.
Oh, yeah.
He was rich. He had an Arrowmobile.
Aeroplane. Oh, I know.
They actually made fun of that pretty good in the cartoon Brave and the Bold because they made Green Arrow kind of like a friendly rival of Batman's.
Mm-hmm. And I brought that up one week in my Flash Arrow pod. Check that out. SouthgateMediaGroup.com.
And don't forget, we got a DC roundtable we're hoping to shoot someday.
Yeah.
If we ever get it together, but who knows? So again, it's so hard to do a podcast for this episode because there's like 8 storylines.
Yeah. All right. Let's start with Oliver and Theo. What did you think?
I liked it. I didn't like how they were like, I'm gonna now. Well, I shouldn't say I didn't like because what I mean is, I hate when they're like, I'm gonna tell her the truth and then you never do. I'm hoping they continue this. Like he keeps telling her truths.
A little at a time.
Yeah, I could live with that because I swear to God, if they have an episode where Merlin comes to town and goes, "Oh, by the way, your brother is the Arrow," I'm just gonna groan out loud.
Yeah, I know, but I guess it's safe to assume he hasn't told her yet because I think she would flip out on him. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm saying I just don't want the whole point of they're changing her character, so she's gonna be different. But it'd be great if she just figures it out, like she realizes, "Oh, I'm an idiot. My brother's the freaking Arrow." But because we don't know her, we know she was trained by Merlin, but we don't know what she wants. Like if she wants to just protect herself, she wants to be a hero, she wants to be a villain. We don't know.
Well, she said she doesn't want to hurt anymore.
Yeah, she won't. We can't. I like that about the character because that's if the evolution of the character. She's had a lot heaped on her.
Oh yeah.
In the last couple seasons, I mean, let's see.
Well, both her parents.
Yeah. And then found out that her dad is a psycho sociopath. So yeah, and Merlin. I like the idea that Merlin genuinely, he cares for her as much as he can, being Merlin. And I'm
Yeah.
curious to see how that's going to play out.
Although a friend of mine was saying this episode seemed like the beat the women episode between Thea and Laurel.
Yeah. Although I like how when he hits her, she's like, "You psycho!" It's like,
Duh.
yeah, it's Malcolm Merlin. He tried to blow up a city.
Yeah, he helped kill like 503 people.
I know we haven't seen. I don't think we've really seen his reaction to her mother being dead.
He mentioned it briefly toward the end of the second season, I believe, because
Mm.
when Thea was like, "What are you doing here?" and he was like, "I heard about your mother. I came back to make sure
Right.
you're all right."
So I'm curious to see where they're gonna go with this because obviously, he said, "I'll see you soon," so we know he's coming to the city. But see, his original. I mean, is he gonna be the same guy? What's his original intentions? Like, obviously, he's not gonna try to blow up the city again. But
Hmm.
what's he gonna do? I am curious to see what's he's planning and where they're gonna go with him and Thea.
Yeah, and here's a theory. Malcolm is already on. It's already shown he's on Roz's bad side. What if Oliver needs Malcolm's help to stop Roz, whatever he does this season?
I still think Vandal Savage would have been a better choice. Because he's a general Justice. Well, Justice League villain. He's faced them all off. He's not. I think he's more the. I mean, he's faced off against the Flash. And
Yeah, but
but
they've already met. They've already mentioned it. I think they've already met. They've already mentioned his name, Roz's name. They've already mentioned the League of
I know,
Assassins.
I know, I know. I just don't let him turn a bit. Oh, and by the way, I think if we point of thought, we all know if we ever go in to visit Malcolm Merlin, don't answer the door. I wonder
Don't
if
knock.
I wonder if that's just everybody, just like, hey, cookies. We have shortbread.
Yeah, we need a new gardener.
I know, right? I wonder if the gardener knows he's in there like that. He's like, Senor, he's going to murder you.
You told me to knock 3 times.
Yeah, right, right. He has a code. If it's someone he trusts, if anyone else has got the arrow ready. Oh man. But so okay, so yeah, that's pretty much the theme. What storyline should we cover next?
Laurel.
Okay, so Laura, and again, they are writing her. Well, better is a one word. I think realistic is a good word to use for Laurel because
Hmm.
if your sister gets murdered, you don't know how you're. And if you're a recovering alcoholic,
Yeah.
but I like how she says, like, I wasn't tempted to drink. She knows that that's like, she wasn't even, it wasn't even a thing with her. But she's got this drive within her, and she doesn't understand. We know, of course, she's going to become the canary, but she doesn't understand that yet.
Yeah, but
And
she
she,
has a. I mean, she's an addict, but her new addiction is, the action.
well, I'm curious to see how Wildcat, because we saw that is the name of his gym,
Mhm.
now I wonder how they're gonna handle that.
Yeah, are they going to put him in costume this season? You think?
I think they could make a pretty decent Wildcat costume. Like, was he already Wildcat? That'd be interesting if he was like secretly Wildcat and he like started the gym to get away from that.
And I don't know, because in the comic books he's older, but he didn't seem that old
Yeah, they didn't go
in
for.
the show.
Oh, imagine if he learned fighting from his father, who's also called Ted. Oh, that'd be something. But yeah, I'm well, yeah, because obviously he's not going to be a member of the JSA now. But I'm curious. I hope he becomes wild. Because I hate when they take a character from the comics and just uncostume him, unsuperhero him, and they're just using the name. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they have to do pretty decent costume if they do put him in costume. Because I mean, you have to admit that the one from the comic book, I don't know if it's going to translate on screen.
That's the thing, and we'll talk about that during. It's something I've always talked about. There's some costume, like my number. I know it's Marvel, but I think it's a good point. Wolverine's costume will never translate to the screen.
Wolverine's hair didn't translate to the screen, really.
This is what I mean. I mean, his costume essentially has bat ears, or whatever you want to say, or dog
Hmm.
ears. Even it's just that would look. I mean, the comics, he's the most. He looks badass. He is bad, but in live action, you'd have to heavily modify. So who knows? But I just hope we see something. I think what they should do is like she keeps trying to do stuff on her own. He's got to hone her anger. He teaches her that it's about inner control. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just hope we see a lot of the training this season. Don't just like
Oh yeah,
hint at it and then 2 episodes down,
she's an expert
she's
fighter.
yeah.
I don't think they're going to do that because I think this whole season is going to be about her becoming Black Canary.
Hmm.
So I mean, if you trained all the time for a year, you would be a decent fighter. So I think that's the route they'll go.
Hmm.
I really, I think, and that would be fine with me if she's, it's probably gonna, you know what, she's probably gonna become the canary for whatever showdown they're gonna have at the end of the season, or at least close to it.
Hmm.
So of course, yeah, that's so I think I'm liking where they're going with it, and I like the I like that the captain called the tip in, and oh, we get a Green Lantern reference with Coast City.
Yep.
Uh, we probably. I wonder. Do you think they'll ever have the guts to have a? They don't have. I mean, because the thing about Green Lantern, they could have anybody. Even like, oh, tell me it wouldn't be great to have Guy Gardner.
I think they said they're doing a Green Lantern movie, but I don't think it's like towards the end of the schedule. I don't think it's like 2020 or something.
Well, after the there's
Right.
rumors of a infinite, like using the shows and the movies to do like an Infinite Crisis thing, like both universes they connect and they both exist, but they're not the same universe.
Yeah, because they don't want to bring Stephen Amell and Grant Gustin into the movies for some reason.
Well, they've announced some guy I've never heard of for the Flash in the movie.
Yeah, I saw that.
I have
Yeah.
no idea who that guy is, but again, you never know how someone's going to be till they actually get to the movie. So we see so Felicity. I love that she's like, I will not get coffee. I'm never getting coffee, and you will not get coffee from me. And I love the look because he's a real businessman. He's like, why would I ask you to get me coffee? You're my computer girl. It's like his look is like, why would I have you? Like that's what his job is. He's getting you coffee. She's like, oh. And if you notice this, she is looking up. I think she does know he's the Flash because she's looking up the streak on her computer.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. Might not be that hard to figure out.
I know, right? He was struck by lightning. I hope when she's on on Flash next week, Iris gets jealous because that'd be funny as hell.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I like, and she gets Oliver's old office and all that stuff. And you know what's funny? Because obviously Ray Palmer's not going to be a regular on Arrow every time. It'd be funny if eventually she takes over Queen Consolidate, and Oliver's like, okay, I can take my covenant back, and she's just like, no.
Did you catch the Easter egg in The Office? The name of Felicity's assistant,
Oh, I like. Well,
Jerry Conway.
I didn't realize they said his full name.
Yeah, Jerry Conway.
Who's that?
He was a big especially in the 70s, a big writer for Marvel and DC. He was the co-creator of Firestorm.
Oh.
Yep.
All right then. All right. All right. I swore I saw a Firestorm symbol in Verdant. There's a symbol on the wall. I swear that looked like Firestorm symbol.
Hmm.
Well, I probably just because I looked at that door like 8 times in the flash.
So what did you what?
Oh, I was gonna say we get a little, kind of an Easter egg. Not really though, because they mentioned that arms dealer from the last season, Armitage. I'm guessing it's probably the same guy.
Milo Armitage, yeah. Yeah, he was from the comics too.
Yeah, I looked it up. He has some involvement in the comics. He did. It was hard because he doesn't have his own Wikipedia. So I mean, and the database they do have for him was whatever. But so yeah, that we get that reference. Oh, and there was an OMAC reference.
Yes.
Although obviously not the one from the who knows. Well, there's so many versions of OMAC.
Yeah, over the years they've done I'd say at least 4 versions of that.
Okay, so who knows? Yeah, so I wonder who was behind those weapons.
I don't know, but I was just the OMAC. You think that's going to be this season's terrorist attack on the city?
Oh, but well,
Because we have one every season.
Yeah, apparently. We're gonna need damage control from Marvel to come in and fix the city up. Now, I did like how in the other storyline we get Oliver using a gun, and he gets that thing we always like. I didn't say I didn't know how to use a gun. It's true. If you're an expert marksman with a bow, it's pretty likely you can shoot a gun.
Oh, you mean when MacGyver's handmade bows?
Oh God,
learning out.
Yeah, we gotta talk about that. What that thing was. Oh God, how many people are gonna cosplay with that this year? It's like he made a bow out of the stuff in his hotel room. Are you kidding me? And by the way, I love how whenever Oliver was overseas, he only sometimes disguises his identity. Like, no one's gonna go. I know people over there don't exactly know Oliver Queen, but someone might go, "Hey, that was that guy." And then Roy, he's like, "Oh, I can't bring this on the plane."
I know. I've never flown before.
No, I do. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I thought there was a big plot hole. My big problem. I love the road trip the guys took, but how did Oliver afford the airfare?
Yeah, that's something I wanted to talk about. And then here's another thing: how did no one was questioning how Thea got all over the place? No one was questioning that.
What? Oh, Yeah. Well, I mean, look at the house she was living in down there too. That villa.
Right. Oliver's like, "Hey, how you living here?" No one questioned the fact that because she's in a villa in a country that's not exactly the friendliest place.
Well, I hate to say it, but I don't think Oliver's the deepest of thinkers.
No, Green Arrow's not the deepest of thinkers. He called his original car the Arrowmobile. One time when he was getting intimate with Black Canary in the comics, he called it Robin visiting Sherwood.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so he's not the thinker.
But the only thing I can think of with the airfare is since Diggle was going down there on an Argus mission, unless Argus footed the bill for the airfare.
No. He was trying. Well, I think she was trying to get him to do that before Argus found out. That's why she sent him.
Yeah, he was going down, but maybe eventually they paid. I don't know.
Yeah. They get what? I don't think Argus validates.
Because Oliver's broke. As far as I know, Roy doesn't have a job. The club's closed.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I think they have some money left over, but well, I think that's what it is. They have some money, just not his old money.
Yeah.
I mean, but again, that doesn't. There's a few things that doesn't explain.
Again, don't think too hard.
Now, I wonder what. No, it's funny. With Sarah dying, I wonder if we're going to see Sin again.
I know. Where's Sin at? No one's. Even like the last few episodes of the last season.
And now I think about it, that's another thing that really surprised me about them killing Sarah, because they had that whole storyline that it turns out her dad is someone that was on the island.
Uh-huh.
I could see, and I like that actress. I want her back. I could see her becoming something.
They could bring her back. I mean, she became friends with Roy.
That'd be funny if they started dating and Thea gets jealous. It's like, you left!
But it's like, yeah, they made no mention of her. It's like, what, is she still sitting in the clock tower waiting for Sarah to come back? Gonna be waiting a while.
Yeah, I know. They're like, they walk into the clock tower. Where have you been? We don't even know if she knows Sarah's dead. She wasn't at the.
That's what I'm saying.
So
I don't know what happened.
But we'll see. So yeah, and then we find out that the mission was actually he was selling out because obviously Amanda Waller is Amanda Waller. So I can't wait to see where they're going with that, because that's always whenever you add Amanda Waller, you always get a lot of amoral situations.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see where they go with that. Did we miss any storylines?
Let me see. They were jam packed. I don't think, unless you want to talk about Detective Captain Lance a little bit.
Well, he wasn't really. I mean, I liked his interaction with Darby and where they're gonna go with it. Although I don't know, they've kind of limited him by giving him the heart problem.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I hope they get him over it. Like by the end of the season, it's like, hey, all better.
Yeah, so by season 4, he can be Commissioner Lance.
Oh God.
Hey, you said it yourself. Arrow was like copy of Batman for a long time.
Oh yes. It's better. They should make the phone. Oliver calls him on red.
Turn on that arrow light on the roof.
Well, no, actually, I'd get confused by an arrow light because I would think, what, they want me to go to the right? What's going on? But yeah, overall, like I said, nothing I really didn't like about it. I mean, of course, we've nitpicked a couple of little plot holes, but overall, decent episode. Carried around the story fine. That's all it was. It was a continuation episode. I mean, the stuff they built up, I hope makes sense. But I would say a good episode. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, they gave us a lot, some Thea stuff that we haven't had in a while.
Indeed. So anything else you want to touch upon?
I don't believe so.
All right. Can you tell these amazing people how to get in touch with us?
Of course, you can get a hold of the Flash Arrow Power Hour by email. Our email is the flasharrowpodcast@gmail.com. We're on Facebook, Flash Arrow Power Hour Podcast. Twitter is @FlashArrowPod. Instagram is Before the Bat _Flash Arrow Pod, and Tumblr is Before the Bat /Flash Arrow Pod.
Although we forgot to talk about a very important storyline, Thea's hair. I think we should have a drink. We should watch this episode again, have a drinking game. Every time they directly mention her hair, we take a shot. No, it's like, yeah, she cut her hair, and it does kind of work for her, but we get it. They kept mentioning it. It's
Corner Maltese is a hot place.
Oh yeah, and I also know from Flash, what else is a great place? Tahiti. It's a magical place.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Well, when they said Tahiti, I'm like, it's a magical place. Oh, okay, but yeah, I just had to mention it here because they kept mentioning it and mentioning it and mentioning it. And she cut her hair. I wonder if she wasn't supposed to. Like, it was like the Felicity thing. Well, I should say Felicity the show. She just came in one day and we're gonna have to write this into the show.
No, I think they planned that.
Yeah, I know. It's just okay. So yeah, I believe that takes care of all of this. We'll be back next time with the Flash, Arrow Power. Or Phil, take us out.
All right, everyone, get a hold of us and come back next week. Don't fail this city or this podcast.
If you would like to donate to help pay for this and other Southgate Media Group podcasts, simply go to our website, southgatemediagroup.com, and click on the donate button. It can be as little as $1 or, well, as much as you want. Help keep this fun going by supporting this and our other shows. Thanks again for listening, everyone. You're the best fans in the world.